Hopefully this is working. I'm standard technical problems. Turns out I had no audio when I started up here, but it sounds like it's getting through right now. I'm not using my standard microphone because it's in pieces for some reason. So we'll just learn to live with that. But it is Wednesday, October 17th. I'm Richard Murray. This is the Zadim channel. And yeah, I missed last week's stream. I ended up having company at the last minute. But back at it and fighting with things. And hopefully getting a print going as we speak. It might get a little bit noisy here. I'll just have to see how we're doing. It's there. And here we are. Octoprint is talking away at it. I've been playing with the focus with the camera, so hopefully I'm focused in on the right area. But when I look at it now, that front corner looks pretty clear, so I don't think it is there yet. But we'll fire this off and see how that goes. Now, if I recall my setup properly, I think I can now go to this camera. And if that works right, yes, it's up in a window. So you have to tilt that camera up a little bit. There. And I still have to work with the focus on that. We're slowly getting things put together, though. So what is that printing? That is printing from here. This is for the museum. And this is just a template for a pier that will be used on an N-scale layout. I'm just quickly firing this off as a shell just for the basics. 0 supports. It's at 0.2 layer height. And the reason I'm doing that is just to check the dimensions. When you fire this off, there's going to be bridging issues at the top, I know. But I don't worry about it with this being version 1. It will, this will just be something I can take up to the layout and make sure I have the dimensions correct on it. And with it, this base here, there's going to be a trestle bridge. It's there already, and it'll fit onto here. I have to put a bit of a taper on this slope, but it will, the top bridge will be attached to this component. But with this, just gives me an idea how to do it. And what I did is in Fusion 360. Now here's the finished model, but I found out the fastest way to do this was came in, started a sketch, basic rectangle. One. Nope. There we go. And I'm messing that one up already. Let's start over here. Let's get a top view. Let's start a new sketch. We're going to put a rectangle in there. Basic 2-point rectangle. Here's my plane. And what I figured out, I started by putting in the bottom dimensions first. Then I realized after I did the taper on it that that's wrong. I need to put in the top dimensions and then let it taper down from the top to whatever's needed. So I figured out that the top has to be, this part has to be 20 millimeters. And this one had to be, let's see, I said 36 millimeters. 36 millimeters. And that was my starting point. So I'm going to do a push-pull on this. And I know that it has to be a height of 56 millimeters. And I put a taper on there of 7 degrees. That I just did by experimentation. And there's our pier. But since I had to have the hack away part of it, didn't even do a sketch on it, I just created a box, they call it, I guess, on this plane. And I know I had to indent it by 28 millimeters. So I just made it a 28 millimeter cube. Made it 28 millimeters high. And I probably messed that part up as I looked at my sketch. But all I did was take this, moved component, here's its body. Yep. And put it over on top of my that's it there. And I'll do it. Okay, that's my move. And I did a combine. That's the target. This is the tool. And it's a cut. And there I have my pier. I'm doing it this way so later on, once this basic template is tested and I've checked the measurements, I'll just put it into ZBrush and then add the texture. The texture for this is going to be cut rock, chipped broken rock. It matches the other stuff that we have on there. But the dimensions I have to check is make sure that this height difference is correct, that it's wide enough for the track. Actually, it should be wide enough for the end scale track here, but I don't know which bridge has been chosen to put on it. And then with that, we'll be able to make sure it all works. And when it all works, I will print it with some infill. The infill will be just to support this without all the bridging that we have to deal with. That's that project. And that one's gone. What else is going on here? Well, with my camera projects, I printed out, what have I got here? have a dead camera. That's what I got. Okay, what else do we have? Actually, this one will work. This is the mic stand, and here's the part that we built early on. Screws right on, and with the ball joint on it. This is a different type. And then if we can get this to focus on here, we got enough material on it. You see it have a different type of clamp on here. The easiest way to show it is bring up the plan. And what I did, let's see. First of all, it was not that one, this one. Let's close this. I created a block which just had the post and a ball on it. And then I created a second piece which just had two posts and a bit of an indent on it. Never noticed that one didn't go all the way through. All right, but the reason I did that is this is the design used for the camera for to hold the Octoprint camera, the Raspberry Pi camera. So what I did was quickly copy that, and then I printed it out, and I printed it out again, and then I printed it out again, and then once more after that. And we kept going and going. And since I can't get this camera running right away, go to the this one here. First of all, I printed some of these, and the arm for the post was too small, and it broke off. Then, finally got that solid. I had to slowly widen this out because the post kept breaking off because they were too narrow. So I did 4 of them. So the 4th one worked. So the 3 bears are up, one up on me. The 3rd one was just right for them. For me, it was the 4th one. But it works. It's just friction. It doesn't give me all the flexibility I want. So I will get back to the original design. But this got me going up and running fairly quickly. Now I got to figure out why that camera's not working. But anyways, I got that done. Then another project came along. Let me put that away. And if I, let's bring up Slicker. And what do we have here? I did some scans. Actually, this will not work. Wrong program. What I need is Mesh Mixer. And there it is. This is from the XYZ scanner, hand scanner. I got a flat top of the head there, but sort of looks like me. And so I worked on that. got another one here. And I have not worked on this one much yet. But here's Brenna. Looking rather pious, actually. So this is the raw scan off of it. One of the problems I found with that scanner is it doesn't do small objects. Basically, a person's head is about as small as can go. Now, Brenna's boyfriend was here, and he had a couple of his Star Wars masks here. One's a helmet, and one's a mask. The mask is the one we tried to scan. It would not scan it. It was like it was trying to find the eyes in the mask. Even if we told it to scan it as an object, it would scan the arm that was holding the mask, but wouldn't scan the mask itself. I don't know if it was too reflective on there, or as I mentioned, it could have been the eyes it was looking for. I don't know. But Brenna's is pretty good. Fortunately, she had this toque on. So I'm going to be cleaning this up and printing it out life size for my chainmail. And the Camille will be on it. I have to tilt her up so she's looking straight ahead. But that'll be doable. You saw how mine looked. Now if we go into Slicer now. And see, it comes in rather, oops, what did I do? I want to, let's do, I think I went with, like, I'll use 10%. See, I had to go in there into ZBrush, clean off all the worst of the sharp points, smooth out the hair some. I had to give myself a top of the head that wasn't completely flat. So we got it in there. Back there. So this was basically just smoothed out with various tools within ZBrush. Now it's ZBrush Core 2018 is the program used for it. And yeah, it did the job quite well. I'm actually starting to get used to working in ZBrush. We got the beard there. Now what I'm going to do with this one is I take the head from here and put it on a body from one of the other models so I can print that out. Now, the other thing I was thinking of was I I've been dealing with folks that are into gaming. And with the gaming, we can, I was thinking of putting people's faces on top of the figurine. So, I have to make some figurines, with armor and give them some weapons and make it so I can just plug a face on. And that way, when the people are gaming, they can just put, their character out there. But, yeah, it'll be them with their face, if that's what they want. Anyways, that should be with that. That should be fun. Now, there's another thing I'm up to, and I just have to go grab the part. See what we got with it. So, let's take a look as we print away here. I'll be right back. There we go. Guess it can come over here. And these are fresh out of the oven, as it were. Getting that 2x4 block, which I use as a stand. And these are more of the blades for that fan I was building a while back. And they're freshly cured, straight out of the oven. And so I get to put those back on. I had to shrink them down in order to make it fit. So that's at least complete. So I am getting stuff done. Slowly but surely. So, taking time. With this bridge, seems to be coming along okay. That stuff will be going, do I have, there, I do have that set up. But, I guess. So, I was saying there, I got the template for the bridge pier being printed out right now. Once this is done, probably tomorrow I'll take it up to the museum, do a test fitting, and if it works, then I go on and start adding texture to it. My learning lesson from doing the tiles for the gaming pieces is for FDM printing, I have to make the material big. I made it fine for printing on the SLA printer, the Maya printer, but the detail just doesn't show up with the FDM prints. And so I've had it looked at by Brenna when she was here last week. Got some input from them. And so now I get to go back in the ZBrush, redo the textures on here, and print those out and get those off to market. But I really miss having my microphone. I gotta find out what happened to it. I blame Gus for that. It's missing, at first I thought it was just missing a windsock, but it's missing the top of the microphone as well. So the whole thing is popped off. So it's in this room somewhere, and don't know where. What else is going on? Well, we got, as I said, I've been doing the scans. I have to do Brenna's life size, but before I do that, the neck piece for it, I have to put a thread on it because I have a mannequin. That's not a mannequin, it's well, I guess it's a mannequin. It's for dressmakers, so it's all adjustable for sizes. And I have my chainmail on there, but it has a threaded top, so I have to match that thread for the neck piece for the head, and then line up the head and make sure I have the right angle for it. And then I'll print off Brenna, her head, and in a couple of pieces, and put that together, and hopefully they'll work as a display stand for chainmail. And especially, I have to alter part of the coif, the part goes around the neck, and I find it very difficult to do when it's flat on a table. So looking forward to having that mannequin up and running. Coming up, the joy of very simple print. It moves along fairly quickly. Focusing that camera is a pain, but I can tell here that I have to get back at it because the Prusa is very nice focus. It's the model is out, so it's very, very touchy. Gus and I had a conversation about my octopi setup in the camera for it the other day. So things got moved around some. Hopefully it's in a permanent location now, so I won't have to worry about it. What else do we have going on? Well, that's about it for new stuff. I have to get back into doing the textures, continue assembling things, and find out all the audio parts I have here. We do have a show on Friday night at 7 o'clock my time, Pacific. We're going to Universal Standard Time to announce the shows. It will be, see if I can get the actual time for it. We're going to be talking about filament manufacturing. It's 10 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And as mentioned there, talking about manufacturing filament, although that title just disappeared for a moment. Oh, no, there it is. So, and Matt will be talking about that. Now, it's a timely topic because of what I've been going through with this filament. This is the Econofill filament from Filaments.ca, and they had a bad batch, and they were quite open about, yeah, this batch was not good, but and it was some of the raw materials that went into it that caused the problem, so they changed the supplier for that raw material. But in the meantime, they blew out all the defective filament. The filament prints, but it is stringy and it is brittle. So I would not do a large print with it. I wouldn't want to do anything that lasted for a while, but it is something that is worthwhile to have around for doing junk prints like this one. Raw templates, I'm checking the size, I'm throwing it out. I'm going to be here, so if it breaks, I can keep an eye, you know, I'll know that it breaks. It seems to break normally at the end of prints or at the start of prints. I haven't had it break in the middle of a print yet. At the end, when the head moves up, then it has snapped off at that point. It also snaps off when Gus plays with it. So we are getting good used to playing with it. But since it was defective, it's dirt cheap, so I have 8 pounds of it sitting here. So that works out they'll give me something to work with. Now I also have, I'll try this out. This is 3D Fuel, and they're Pro PLA. So I'm looking forward to giving this stuff a try. Maybe I'll have a test of that done before our show on Friday. That's it, a short one. And you look after my voice as it's cracking out again on me. We'll keep on with the printing. I have a whole bunch of tiles to do. We'll get that done if this pier fits, and I will get on with adding texture to it. It'll be a broken rock texture, and then we will paint it up and get it on the layout. I have 2 tunnel portals to build, and yeah, the first one actually I'm looking forward to. Should be interesting. And this is, see if I can find it. Pull this up here and see if I can find the tunnel I was looking for. There's the screen for you. See this one? Nope. These are all train. They're supposed to be train tunnel portals from BC. That's going into a snow shed. I'll probably make one like this. The other one I'm not seeing right off the top. A great texture to it. Now this one's possible. Because we do have one location where the we have a dual track going in, so this will fit that location. Close this one. There's another one that had great texture to it. I can see it here. Unfortunately, the Othello tunnels. Nope, it's not the one. Nope. Othello tunnels are fantastic to model. They just don't suit where I'm going to be putting this model. And on this search, I'm not calling it up, so I'm going to have to get back to it. I have it saved on another search. Oh. Well, a lot of brick work and cut stone work for these things. You know, it could be simple if we did this one. This one's already on a layout, it looks like. It's a Kettle Valley layout. So that one's straightforward. But not having the texture that I'm looking for. No. Don't see it. But this one's a definite possibility. I can fit that one in, and we will, you know, it's N scale, but once again, I do a base in Fusion 360. It'll give me the dimensions, and then all that wonderful brickwork on there, cut stone, looks like cut stone, I'll do in Fusion 360, which should be fun. So, one more look. Come along. So I will be back on Friday. now that I'm back doing things, I have that quick and dirty one that's trying to get fired out right now. We will, I'll get that one edited and posted, and I'll be back next Wednesday. Have fun out there.